This
showing the
conference
application,
will now be recorded.
okay, before showing the application, let me talk about why Fusion came into picture, how Fusion came into picture. Those are all things for today's class. Okay, so here, first thing we'll talk about all these things: innovation for Fusion, the differences between on-premise or cloud solution, what are the different Fusion environment releases happen till today, what is SaaS cloud offerings, and what is PaaS, what is IaaS. We'll talk about all those things. Coming for innovation for Fusion, innovation means why Fusion came into picture. Innovation, the reason for creation of Fusion. Okay, uh, the reason for creation of Fusion is basically, you know that even though we are having Oracle EBS, a stabilizer software for maintaining all HR related activities, payroll related activities, absence management related activities, EBS Oracle, PeopleSoft is one of the stabilizers ERP software. Okay, you know that PeopleSoft is there, EBS is there. We are having SAP. We are having different other ERP softwares are there in the market. Even though why Fusion having its own prominence, because all these softwares, if you consider EBS or PeopleSoft, they work on a particular database which is not cloud related database, whereas Fusion is built upon based upon cloud. What is cloud is, in cloud we don't have any physical space is not required. Okay, in cloud there is a virtual space where the data gets loaded into the application. First the data will get loaded into the application, where a bulk amount of data, huge amount of data can be loaded into the cloud space, then it will go into the database. Okay, that is the reason by using cloud space, the data retrieval and data sending is very fast. That is one of the great features in Oracle Fusion, which is not there in Oracle EBS, which is not there in PeopleSoft, which is not there in earlier release of SAP. Okay, because of this data retrieving and data sending concepts, which are very fast in Oracle Fusion, the technology which was changed from Oracle EBS to Oracle Fusion completely. Okay, uh, and in order to make the data retrieving as well as data sending things faster, Oracle Fusion came into picture. And let me talk about how Oracle Fusion came into picture. What are all the features available in Oracle Fusion? Okay, that I will talk. Uh, the features available in Oracle Fusion are the best in features available from different softwares. Okay, if you consider PeopleSoft is a software uh, which is helpful, which is used for maintaining HRMS applications, which even Oracle EBS HR is also developed from PeopleSoft only. Okay, Oracle EBS HR is developed from PeopleSoft. They have to consider all the best in features from PeopleSoft, and they have developed Oracle EBS. And from Oracle EBS and from PeopleSoft, they have taken all the best in features and they have incorporated in Oracle Fusion HCM. Okay, in the same way for procurement and financials, and for CRM is nothing but customer relationship management. And Hyperion is the reporting tool from which we have incorporated OTBA reporting tools in Oracle Fusion. Okay, when we talk about technical aspects, uh, in that we are having some OTBA reporting tool. OTBA is nothing but Oracle Transaction Business Intelligence. This is the methodology which was incorporated from Hyperion. Okay, even uh, e-business suite is the major tool for maintaining financials related activities. Okay, so even we are having Oracle Fusion financials also, in which we have incorporated all the best in features from e-business suite itself. Okay, this is the mother product of the Oracle. This is the basic mother product of Oracle, uh, which is a stabilized product. On top of we have developed Oracle Fusion. I mean, Oracle has developed Oracle Fusion uh, by incorporating all the best in features from primitive technologies. Okay, uh, let me minimize this. It might be a little bit confusing for you. Okay, we have considered all the best of all the breeds and have incorporated Fusion ERP cloud solutions. Okay, let me talk about. Okay, if I'm bit, let me know if I'm a bit fast. I will try to reduce my speed. Okay, this is a demo class, right? If I'm talking something technical aspects or functional aspect, I'll be a bit slow. But since it's a demo, nothing great to talk about these things. It's a history thing. It's a theoretical things, right? If something is not understandable, please let me know. Okay. Coming to the next slide, we have on-premise and cloud solution. What is on-premise and what is cloud? Okay, let me show you the differences between both on-premise and cloud. Yeah, see, cloud and on-premise. Before talking about on-premise and cloud, let me talk about what are all the flavors available in Oracle Fusion HCM, or not in Oracle Fusion HCM. In entire Oracle Fusion, we're having different flavors of Oracle Fusion. Those are called as SaaS, another one is PaaS, another one is IaaS. Okay. I'll just abbreviate now. SaaS is nothing but software as a service. Okay. Software as a service. And PaaS is nothing but platform as a service. And IaaS is nothing but infrastructure as a service. I'll let you know the differences in clear. But I want to mention one point. Nobody in any interview will ask whether you worked on. Nobody in any interview will ask what is SaaS, what is PaaS, and what is IaaS. They might ask you whether you worked on SaaS, whether you worked on PaaS, whether you worked on IaaS. But nobody will ask what is SaaS, what is PaaS, and what is IaaS. Okay, but let me give the discrimination between all these flavors of Oracle Fusion HCM content. Okay. See, what is SaaS is nothing but software as a service. Okay. In SaaS, Oracle will provide a URL. For that URL, they will give a username and password. Okay. As a client, the client may be Reliance, the client may be whatever the client. Okay. The client may be Nordstrom, the client may be some celebrity, whatever the client. Okay. We have to log into the application using that username and password. Okay. Once log into the application, Oracle has to manage the application in the way the client wants. Okay, Oracle has to modify the application the way the client wants. Oracle has to configure the application the way the client wants. Okay, Oracle will give a prescribed format. Okay, Oracle is having a seeded format. Then the application has to be modified, has to be configured as the client wants. Okay, when Oracle is provided, there will be no enterprise loaded into the application. There will be no jobs. There will be no locations. There will be no employees in the database. In the entire database, there will be no data. There will be no data in full. Okay. Then once the application was provided to the client from Oracle, then Oracle has to configure the application as per the client needs. Oracle has to load the data of the employees, uh, jobs, enterprise status data, workforce status data, all the employees data has to be loaded one after other in a sequential manner. Okay, that is nothing but software as a service. Okay, even in PaaS, let me talk about few changes about software as a service. In software as a service, all the database centers, servers, along with servers, database centers, operating system, everything will be there at the client space. Okay, since everything will be there at Oracle side. Okay, not at client space. Sorry for the mistake. At all these database centers, PowerPoint centers, even servers, operating system, everything will be there with Oracle side. Okay, since everything is there at Oracle side, Oracle will take the headache of maintenance of this database for the client. Okay, what it means is Oracle will take care of refreshes in order to make the application perform well. They has to refresh the application at regular intervals. Okay, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. They have to refresh the application. Okay, Oracle will take care of refresh. If any upgrades were happen, Oracle will take care of the upgrades. Okay, any DBA maintain related activities, DBA activities, database administration activities, everything will be taken care by Oracle itself. Okay, client doesn't want to put their headache of maintaining the application in the database. Okay, everything will be taken care of Oracle. Since all these database centers, PowerPoint centers, servers, operating systems, all these will be there with Oracle, and Oracle will take care of the maintenance of the entire hardware, even the application. Okay, that is a process Oracle used to follow for SaaS type of application. Okay, coming to PaaS, platform as a service. Here, Oracle will provide the platform. Platform in the sense, Oracle will provide access to the database, whereas in SaaS there will be no access to the database. Okay, in PaaS, Oracle provide access to the database centers, PowerPoint centers, and servers. Everything will be there at the client space. Whoever is going to implement Oracle Fusion uh, is nothing. That client will having all these servers, PowerPoint centers, even servers. Everything will be there at the client space. That will not be at Oracle Center. In platform as a service model, all the servers, database centers, everything will be there at the client space. Okay, that's the reason client has to do all the database maintenance activities, any refreshes, any upgrades. Client has to do from their end. Oracle will provide support if needed, but client has to maintain all the database administration activities. That is in PaaS. In PaaS, the good thing in PaaS is, since in PaaS type of fusion and environment model, we'll be having access to database. Since we are having access to database, if any more customization is required, if any customization is required with application, they can do the customization. In SaaS type of model, we can't do much customization. We can configure the application, we can change the application view, look and feel, everything to some extent, but not to a great extent. In PaaS type of application, we can do a lot of customization. Since we will have access to the database, we can create a table, we can create a ticker, we can create a procedure, we can even modify the forms. Okay, all the forms in Oracle PaaS type of model will be developed by Oracle ADF. Okay. In Oracle ADF is used along with Oracle ADF. They use Oracle Jet also. There is one more software, Oracle Jet. They use these two softwares in order to build the forms. I mean, not forms, web pages. They developed all the web pages using Oracle ADF and Oracle Jet. Okay, I'm not going to talk ADF and Jet, but I just given the information. All the pages were developed by using these two softwares. Okay, mm. Since we are having access to the database, if we want to modify those .jsp pages or .jsf pages, we can modify those .jsp pages as per the customer need. Okay, in infrastructure as a service, even in the infrastructure as a service also, we'll be having access to the entire database. Even in infrastructure, the entire infrastructure here, the platform is nothing but the server, database, and everything is nothing but a platform. Whereas in infrastructure, everything will be there with the client. Even operating system will also be there with the client. Oracle will not take care of anything. Oracle will give support, but all the infrastructure is the client. Okay, they have to take about all the activities, database activities, database maintenance activities, refreshes, upgrades. Everything has to be taken care of the client. PaaS and IaaS model are almost same, but in IaaS model, client will be having access to the operating systems also. Okay, but in PaaS, client will not have access to operating systems, but client will have access to database, server, and everything. If they want to insert something new into the database, they can do in PaaS type of model. Even in IaaS model also, if they want to insert something new into the database, they can do it. They can update the database. They can do what they want. Out of these three, SaaS is considered as cloud. Okay. Remaining two are on-premise. Everything is of the client. That's the reason on-premise is of client. You can say that on-premise is nothing but everything is of the client. That's the reason these two models are considered as on-premise model, and SaaS model is nothing but cloud model. Okay. Both are fusion only, but cloud they will give the URL, username, and password. They will not give any access to the database. There will be no much customization. Here, no DBA activities, no DBA is needed for the client. Everything will be taken care by Oracle. But in on-premise model, all the activities has to be taken care by client. Okay, whoever is going to implement Fusion HCM, they have to take care of all the DBA related activities, refreshes, upgrades, and everything. Okay, that's the basic difference between cloud and on-premise. And in cloud and on-premise, there are different flavors. One is SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. I think you understand what SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. If any questions, please stop me. You can ask me if you don't understand something. Okay. Any questions on this? What is SaaS, what is PaaS, and what is IaaS? What is the difference between cloud and on-premise model? If you're having any questions, please let me know. Okay. I'm going forward. Coming to the next slide, Here, in this particular slide, we can able to see what are the different releases till today. Okay. Actually, Oracle Fusion came to the market in the year 2010. Okay, they started they started developing the Oracle Fusion from year 2004 onwards. After 6 years of struggle, after 6 years of developmental process, the Oracle Fusion, the first release was happened in year 2010. At the end of the year 2010, it came to the open market in the year 2011. That's the reason they have first started with 11.1.5.1. Okay. After then, there was 13 releases has happened. From year 2011 till today, there are 13 releases happened. The newest version, the recent release, what is the newest recent release is, we can call it as release 13 update 28. Then you can call the version as release 13 update 28. If the next version is released, that might release in the month of some April, May, June. If it is released in those months, it will call as 20B. Okay. This what is this 20A, 20B is nothing but A, B, C, D is nothing but quadrants. Okay. Quadrants or quarters, whatever you can say. For every quarter, there will be some new refresh. There will be new release in general. Okay. Once the product is stabilized, there will not be no more releases. Since the product is in stabilization process only, there are some other issues. Okay. In some benefits, there might be one issue. In some payroll balances, initialization, there might be some issues. Because of that, they used to update the packages, the background packages, and everything. Because of that, there might be a few releases every time. In every new release, there should be a new enhancement in the application. Okay? That is to happen in any release. If any new enhancements are there, they will print some white paper in which you can see what are the new enhancements, what are the new features. We can see everything in that white paper. Okay. I'll talk about those things going forward. But as of now, I want to say one thing. Whenever there was a new release was happened, they will update the name in this way. What is this? Is release 13 is the release or the recent release. On top of that, any refreshes will happen. They will say that update, which is not after update you're having something like 20. This 20 is nothing but the year when that update was happened. Okay. The recent one is 20. The recent update was happened in the year 2020, and that is in the month of January. That's the reason it was named as release 13 update 28. And if any new feature, any feature release going to happen, that should be happen in the month of April, May, June. Okay. If it is happen in the month of April, May, June, they will mention the name as 20B update 20B. If it is happen in the month of July, August, September, they will mention that release update 20C. Okay, they will follow this naming convention whenever any update was happen. Okay, and the release what you are going to use for the entire class, most probably the same release 20A release which has happened recently, or else release update 19D. We will be using the release which has happened in the month of November, October, November, December. Okay, 19 is nothing but that the year which was the update was happened. That was happened in 2019. On top of that application, which was D is nothing but the release has happened in the month of October, November, December. We will be using that particular application, which was released in the month of December 2019. We will use that application for the entire course. Okay, I will show you. I will just log into the application. I'll show you where you can find this release name and everything. Okay, let me log into the application. You got some URL. For that, I'm just logging into the application. Given the username and password here, and click on sign on. Once you sign into the application, just click on. I will talk about all these icons which you are seeing in this page. Okay, but as of now, just click on this username. If you hover your mouse on this particular icon, you'll be able to see the username. The username which we log into the application. Okay, once if you log into the application, I just need to click on about this application, and I'm actually my laptop is little laptop. That's the reason I was unable to click on that. See here about this application, small laptop. You can see Oracle Cloud application release 13 is here. After that 19, this is D. 19D is the application we are going to use for the entire course. Okay, this release was happened in the month of October, November, December. Actually, this release was happened in the month of October. That's the reason I have mentioned the name as 13 Oracle update 9 release 13 update 19D. Okay, let me talk about few things. Any questions? How do they do the naming conventions if any new release was happened? If any question, please let me know. Yeah. Coming to the next slide, we can see what are all the offerings as of now are there in Oracle Fusion HCM. Okay, not in Oracle Fusion HCM, in just in Oracle Fusion, we can able to see what are all the offerings available. See, we're having financial management. Okay, financial management is nothing but we'll deal with general ledger, accounts payable, account receivables, cash management, P2P, OTC. Some cycles will be there. We have to work on those things in financial management. So we're having some supply chain management. Okay. Along with that financial management and supply chain management, we're having human capital management. And we're having project portfolio management, procurement, customer relationship management, governance, risk and compliance. Along with this, we're having a new offering called iRecruitment. What is this iRecruitment? This was not incorporated in this slide, but along with these offerings, we are having some other offerings like iRecruitment. In this iRecruitment, Oracle will integrate with third-party softwares, third-party job portals, something like Naukri, something like timesjob.com, Indeed.com, LinkedIn. Oracle will integrate with all these third-party job portals. If any particular client is implementing Oracle Fusion HCM, for applying job for the client, we don't need to apply it in that company job portal. Since they are using Oracle, uh, since Oracle is integrating with Oracle, since Oracle is integrating with all these third-party job providers, uh, the resumes or profiles will directly get from the third-party software itself. Okay, we don't need to. If any jobs, if some position, some job is there, they can directly approach from the application itself, since they will be they're already integrated with Naukri or LinkedIn. Okay, that is actually that Oracle iRecruitment is in development stage only. Okay, that will release by year 2020, 2022. Since it was going to, I mean, there will be some enhancements required. Actually, it was released, but already people are started using iRecruitment. Some of the clients are started using iRecruitment, but the entire enhancement will complete by year 2022. Okay, out of all these offerings, we are not going to touch any offerings except human capital management. Okay, in the next slide, we'll be talking about what are all the things we'll be going to cover in human capital management. Coming to human capital management, the Oracle Fusion HCM, in short form, the human capital management can be called as HCM. Oracle Fusion HCM is divided into four things. One is workforce deployment, other one is workforce development, compensation management, and span business process. Okay. Workforce deployment is nothing but it's a combination of all these modules. Whatever you're seeing across this workforce deployment, it's a combination of all these modules. Okay. See, workforce deployment is consisting of global human resources. What global human resources? In global human resources, we will try to understand what are all the enterprise structures. In enterprise structures, we are having enterprise divisions, legal entity, business units, different data sets, departments, okay, and how we are clubbing all together, how each and everything is interconnected. Once you talk about workforce enterprise structures, we are having something called workforce structures. What are workforce structures? Jobs, positions, locations, department, grades, job family, grades, all these comes under workforce structures. Okay. We'll talk about all the workforce structures and how these workforce structures connected to enterprise structures. Okay. We'll talk everything in detail. Once we loaded the data of enterprise structures and workforce structures data, then we'll talk about loading the employees data, and all the configurations related to employees. Okay, we are having different types of employees. Something like employee, contingent worker, non-worker, pending worker. All these are different types of employees available in Oracle Fusion HCM. Okay. We will let you know the differences between each and everything, and we will create every type of employee, and we will try to do some scenarios like global transfer, global temporary assignment, global temporary transfer. We'll check everything with respect to we'll check all the configurations within global human resources. Okay. Once global human resources is completed, we'll talk about absence management. Okay. What absence management deals with? How we will raise an absence, particular type of absence in the application. We'll be having different types of absences like sick leave, vacation leave, personal leave, overtime leave. We'll be having compensationary leave. We'll be having different types of absences. We need to configure some 2 or 3 types of leaves, and the whatever you configured, we need to use the leaves. Well, the leaves has to be used by the employee, which we have created in the application. Okay, I'll show you the entire process of uh, rising from creating a leave to how to use the leave. Okay, we'll be creating absence plans, absence plan types, absence categories, absence certifications. We're having so many other setups in absence management. We'll be having uh, absence rates. Okay, we'll talk about more on absence management going forward, and I'm talking about absence management. Okay. I'm just talking about functional related things. I'm not talking about technical related things. Okay. And we're having some, after completing absence management, we'll talk about global payroll and localizations. I will open the course content at the end of the class. Okay, but as of now, I'm just trying to explain what we are going to cover in each and every module. Okay, uh, global human resources, absence management, and global payroll and localizations. Okay, we will talk about global payroll and localizations. I will give the entire uh, all the setups related to global payroll with different localizations. So, I mean, I'll try to use US localization for my for doing the setups. US or India, anything is fine. Most of the times I used to use US. Why? Because all the clients which approach to us, most of the clients are from US only, North American clients only. Very few clients from UK and Canada and UAE. Okay. I'll talk about these things. I'll show the course content, but I just want to say what all modules that workforce deployment is having. See here, in order to deploy all the workforce, I mean, in order to deploy all the people, all the employees, all the contingent workers, first of all, we have to load enterprise structures, then workforce structures, and then people, and then other configurations will go on. And what else workforce deployment consisting of? Time and labor. I'll talk about global payroll and resource after this slide. But along with global human resources, global payroll and absence management, we are having other module called time and labor. What is time and labor is consisting of is, yeah, once the application is configured, the application should have time and labor management pages also. Okay, in order to maintain the when the employee swiped into the organization, when the employee swiped out of the organization, that has to time has to capture by the organization itself. For that, we need to maintain time card details. For the time card details, we're having so many setups. Time and labor is a big module. We'll be having around some 30 to 35 setups that will not be covered in this course, but if you want, you can come for other class. Okay. Time and labor and benefits I'll teach in other class. Why? Because time and labor, we need to create time card attributes, time data dictionaries. We need to create time card layouts, time card sets, and everything has to be set up in a particular time card layout. Okay, it takes so much time. The time and labor will take itself some 15-20 days of time in order to do the configurations. Okay, that's the reason I'm not going to cover time and labor. Out of all the modules, we have to be perfect in 2-3 modules itself. Okay, global HR is the basic module. We have to be very perfect. We have to know each and every setup from global HR. Okay. On top of that, global HR, you should be perfect in time and labor or global payroll. Okay. If you are good in time and labor, that is very good, or else you should be good in global payroll. Okay. Along with that, if you know absence management also is very good. Okay. Coming to workforce management, in this workforce management, we will try to manage the workforce. Workforce management, if you want to do any updates, if you want to change the job of the person, if you want to change the location of the person, we will do all the workforce management activities. If you want to terminate the person, all comes under workforce management. And I will show you the different scenarios of workforce management going forward. Okay. And workforce predictions, workforce management, workforce predictions are the same thing. Workforce predictions are nothing but if a particular project is coming, the particular project is coming for a particular company, okay, they has to uh, hire new people. Okay, how many number of new people are need to be hired? For that, they will hire new people. For hiring the people, we need to load the data of the new hired people. Okay, those all comes at workforce predictions. Okay. Uh, we will talk about all these these three important modules in very detail: global human resources, global payroll, absence management. Along with that, workforce management, workforce solutions also covered. These all comes under workforce development, workforce deployment. This is nothing. In this workforce deployment, we need to deploy the people. In order to deploy the people, we need to deploy other things like workforce structures, enterprise structures, all these things. Okay. The next one is workforce development. Okay. Workforce development modules covers the modules which will develop the employees. What all the modules is used for developing the employees is first one is talent management, which is nothing but talent review. Okay, where we will create talent profiles, talent ratings, talent models. Okay, we'll be creating different setups, and we will having different setups in talent review. Along with that, we are having performance management. All these goal management, succession management, everything will be covered. Will be used for development of the employee. Okay, we need to set some goals in order to develop the employee. Okay, that will come under goal management. Okay, we need to check the performance of the employee on quarterly basis or yearly basis, maybe. Uh, we'll be having different performance appraisals depending upon the company. Okay, these talent review, performance management, goal management, succession management, that will come under workforce developmental things. For these workforce development things, we are having 4 submodules like talent review, performance management, goal management, succession management. Okay, uh, we will talk about these modules also, but the important modules are global human resources, payroll, and absence management. These are simple modules only. Each and every module will having some 7 to 8 setups. Okay? I'll talk about each and every setup from these modules also. Coming down, we are having something called as compensation management. Okay? Compensation is different. Incentive compensation is different. Okay, compensation is nothing but will get compensated on recurring basis. Okay, incentive compensation is something like we will get the compensation for the work you done, for the amount of work you done. Okay, incentive compensation setups are different, compensation setups are different. Okay, in compensation management, we are having compensation, incentive compensation. At the same time, we are having one more module called benefits module. Okay, we are not going to cover any of these modules in the class. We are going to cover global human resources, payroll, absence management, and even workforce management, workforce predictions. Okay, I didn't touch this global payroll interface. I'll talk about that. I have covered all these things: workforce deployment, workforce development, and compensation management. Okay. You know that what benefits is covering of. Benefits is nothing but you will be having some insurance. For that insurance, will be having different plans, and for each plan, will be having different options. Okay, there is a plan configuration, plan types, options in plans, plans and programs. We will be having so many setups there. Uh, in order to provide insurance for the employees, we are having something called benefits module. In that benefits module, we will be creating benefits carrier, plan carriers, and everything. We'll do so many setups and benefits. Okay. Coming to span business processes, these are nothing but which are common to all of these modules. See here, under span business process, we're having something called fast formulas. What are the use of fast formulas is? We will create some fast formulas in order to create some custom calculations. Oracle will provide some calculation. Oracle will provide some serial calculations for calculating the salary or overtime salary. Oracle will be having some serial calculations. But in order to override the serial calculations, we'll be having something called fast formulas in order to do some custom calculations. Okay, these fast formulas, profile management, workforce directory management, these are common to all these modules. Okay, that's the reason this came under these 3 things came under span business process, which are common to all the businesses, all the business processes. Okay. Any questions on this? No, right? If any questions, please let me know. Coming to the next slide, I didn't cover about global payroll interface. What is global payroll interface? Global payroll interface is nothing but, see this, I'm just going for the next slide. There are two things here. One is Fusion, other one is some third-party software. It might be PeopleSoft. PS is nothing but PeopleSoft, or else EBS or JD Adverse. You can consider SAP, or else you can consider Pega. Whatever you want to consider, you can consider this side. The bottom side, you can consider third-party software. And the top side, you can consider Oracle Fusion. Okay, Oracle Fusion will have employees data. Okay, all the workforce directory will be having with Oracle. Oracle will send the employees data in the form of reports to these third-party software. It might be PeopleSoft, it might be JD Adverse, it might be EBS, it might be Pega, it might be some SAP, whatever. Okay, Oracle will send the data, employee data, to this third-party software. Okay, once the employee data came for this third-party software, the third-party software will run the payroll or benefits, time and labor, everything. Okay, they will take care of the payroll. What this payroll interface is, Oracle will give some interface in order to run the payroll by some third-party software. Okay, there is something called ADP. Okay, ADP is nothing but it's one sort of payroll interface. And the ADP is a separate company. They will run the payroll for the employees, but the employees data will be there with Oracle only. Okay, employee will send the employees data and others data. Okay, from Oracle to ADP, and ADP will run the payroll of the employees. In the same way, instead of these PeopleSoft, we can mention ADP or Pega, SAP, whatever you want to mention, you can mention here. Okay. Once the employee payroll and benefits and time and labor configuration was done, once those processes are done for the employees, they will again update to the Oracle. For these employees, for this particular pay period, benefits were assigned, benefits were calculated and assigned to the employees, and payroll was calculated, and a salary was disposed to the employees. Okay, they will send the information again to the Oracle. If any new hires are there, they will again send the data for the this third-party software in the form of reports or HCM extracts, and they will again run the payroll for these employees. Okay, this is a coexistence model, implementation options coexistence model, where it's nothing but payroll interface, where Oracle will provide some interface in order to run the payroll in some third-party software. Okay, if any questions, please let me know on this coexistence model. We are not going to cover any payroll interface in our classes, but we will cover only payroll, global payroll only. All these are repeated slides. I'm just releasing it. Yeah. Coming to the next slide, we're just comparing Fusion Cloud with EBS. Okay. What are the different advantages in Oracle Fusion Cloud when compared to EBS? Adaptability. See here. If we want to use Fusion Cloud, if you want to migrate, there is no migration, nothing like that. You will be having some URL. For the URL, you will be having some username and password. Okay. If you know the username and password, you can log into the application even from your mobile phone also. Okay. If you want to start work also, you can start working even in the mobile phone also. Whereas if you want to work in EBS, there has to be told there should be some Java listener. Java has to be installed, and along with that, you should be having some DNS names, and everything has to be configured. Otherwise, we can't open the application in EBS. Okay. Adaptability is very easy. We can use this Fusion Cloud at any point of time, at any place. If you're having internet, if you know the username and password and URL, you can start working in the mobile also. You don't need to install any softwares or anything to use that. Okay. If you're having mobile phone also, you can use that anywhere. Coming to implementation time. If any client is implementing some 3 or 4 modules, something like global HR, payroll, absence management, and benefits, okay, the implementation time in Fusion Cloud is less than a year. Okay, whereas in EBS, if the client want to configure these 4 modules, it will take 2.5 years. Not less than 1.5 year, and even more than 2 years also. Okay, the implementation time is very heavy in EBS when compared with Oracle Fusion. Duplication of work. Okay, if you create something, if you create an HCM extract, okay, we can use that HCM extract in a BA publisher report also. Okay, we can drag that HM extract into behavior permission report. Okay, we don't need to create any other report for achieving a particular work. Duplication of work can be minimized in Fusion HCM and compared with EBS. Okay. And coming to data migration can be done in some 2-3 clicks itself. Okay, if you just need to download the XML file and just need to upload the XML file. Okay, that's it. You don't need to do heavy work. If it is an Oracle EBS, we should be having some WinSAP. Prior to that, we should be having some putty in order to run the LDT commands, whatever. If you want to run if you want to migrate a report, we should be having some LDT commands. Okay, and we have to send the files to one local directory to server by using some WinSCP tool. We should be having so many other tools in order to migrate from one instance to other instance. As an Oracle Fusion HCM application, if one particular development is completely completed in a perfect way, we can migrate in 2 or 3 clicks. Okay, just download the XML and upload the XML. That's it. Okay. Data migration is very easy when in Oracle Fusion HCM when compared with Oracle PBS and PeopleSoft and any other software. Okay. Why this social network integration? What is the use of the social network integration? The Oracle Fusion HCM pages, if you log in as an employee, it will just look like a Facebook page. You can see your employee details. You can put your image. We can write your, you can write your hobbies and everything. You can mention like that. It just look like a Facebook page. It means that we can build up a social networking page and you can put it as a dashboard. Okay, you can do so many activities here. And if you want to put any live analytics also, you can put it. Okay. What is this live analytics is nothing but whatever you do in the front end, the same. Once the transaction is completed, the transaction can be seen in the database at the same instance of time. Okay, at the same point of time, you can able to see whatever the transaction you have done in the front end. The same transaction can be seen in the back end at the same point of time. Okay, that is nothing but live analytics, and we can create some dashboards and analytical pages. We can do whatever you want to do using in Oracle Fusion HCM. Coming to reporting, we are having some 3 good reporting tools. One is HCM extracts, other one is OTBA reports, another one is BA reports. In OTBA reports, we can even create dashboards, gauges, trails. I'll let you know what is trails is, gauges, and I'll let you know. These are all something analytical related pages. I'll let you know while talking about technical aspects. Okay, that's the basic difference between Fusion Cloud and EBS. Where in EBS we cannot integrate with social networking sites. We are not having live analytics. Okay? Live analytics is there, but it is not that much accurate. In Oracle Fusion, it is very accurate. Okay, coming to reporting, we are having some BI reports in EBS, but we are not having those many reporting tools in EBS. We're having BI reports. Along with that, we can create some reports with the help of report builders. Even for that, also we need to again create some template and everything. Okay, we're having only BI reports or reports builder, but in Fusion HCM, we're having HCM extracts, we're having BI reports, we're having OTP reports. What are all the things we're having in EBS? Those all things, along with those things, we're having some other new features in Oracle Fusion. One is Oracle HCM extracts. Okay, that's one of the significant tool where we can do the reporting with more accuracy. Okay. Coming to the next slide. Okay, what all modules we cover for this particular class is core HR, payroll, talent management, performance management, goal management. Along with that, we are going to cover absence management also. Thank you. Okay. Once you log into the application, you can able to see the application in this way. Okay, we have to go for define initial configuration. Then you can see all these things. Okay. Let me go for the application. As I said that for today's class, I'll show you the basic things like I just want to create a user. Okay, how to create a user? For creating user, just come for this left navigator pane. Under we'll be having something called tools. Under tools, you just need to go for security console. Click on OK. I'll talk about it had thrown some warning message. Why it was thrown is we have to run some process for every 1 or 2 days, some regular intervals. We have to run the process. Since that process on that run, it had thrown a warning message. Okay, I'll show you those things going forward. Just click on users. Okay, once you click on users, click on add user account. Right? What I will do is see. Let me use some first name, some Shyam, okay, and last name is Shivaji. Once you give the first name and last name, username will come automatically as sham.shivaji. Why? Because it was configured like that. In the administration, I have configured that first the username should be not, it should be first name and last name. If you click on tab, the username will come automatically sham.shivaji as the username is configured as first name and last name. I'm just giving some password. Okay. I already said that. If you remember, in the start of the session, I said that Oracle Fusion HCM follows RBAC model security. What is RBAC model security? Is role-based access control. Depending upon the role attached to the user, he will get access to the application. As of now, I have created Shyam Shivaji. The username is Shyam.Shivaji. Okay. For this Shyam.Shivaji, I didn't attach any role. Okay. See what is the impact on the application. What are all the functions he can access in the application without having any roles. Okay, let me log into the application in some other search engine. As this person doesn't have any roles attached, okay, he will not have access to any of the functions. Okay, he'll be having access to minimum functions. He can see his work list. If any work list is there for him, he can see his work list. Okay, if you click on this home button, okay, in this home button, he's just having work list and set preferences. If you want to set any preferences, like he wants to see this date format in this way, if you want to do some set preferences, he can do that. Okay? Nothing else he can do. Why? Because um, he's not having access any rules attached to him. If you want to see the date format in a particular way, he can do that. He can do such activities, but anything else he can't do. Okay, if he wants to create a new user, if he wants to create a location, if he wants to create a job, if he wants to load the data, if he wants to do some or other setup, he can't do that as an HR administrator, as an implementation user. See, click on them, add user account. When I create a user, there are two options. One is none, another one is worker. When I choose none as the user person type, it is nothing but an implementation user. Okay, I have created Sham as an implementation user. As an implementation user, we should be capable. A user should be capable of creating employees, creating jobs, locations, workforce structures, and enterprise structures. Should be capable of implementing the application. Okay. As of now, he doesn't have access to any. He doesn't have access to any of the functions like hiring an employee. If you go for this particular user, as you're showing Agarwal, if you click on the home button, okay, she's having so many. She's having access to so many functions. Like under my client groups, she can do person management. She can create a new person. She can create absences. Okay, if he wants to raise an absence, if you want to take leave for any person, she can do that. Okay, as an implementation user. Okay, if you want to create an HCM extract, okay, she can go for data exchange. We don't for this user. In I have opened in Mozilla Firefox for this user, Shyam Shivaji. SS is nothing but Shyam Shivaji. For this user, there are no actions, no functions available. What you need to do in order to get some functions added to the user is we need to add the roles. What roles to be added? Okay, as an implementation user, we should be capable in doing some functions like um, creating an employee. For that, we need to add human resource manager. This is one role. Along with that, human resource analyst. Okay. Along with that, human resource specialist. Some spelling mistakes is there. Please don't concentrate. Let me add these three rows to this user. Okay. Now to add three rows, go for the same navigation. Under you have to come for this left navigator pane. Under that, come for tools. After tools, just click on security console. Click on users. Search the user for whom we need to add the roles. Click on the user. Edit. Try adding the rows by clicking on add role. Once you add, you can see that what is added role in the background. You can see the added role. I just added analyst. That's the reason it was added in the backend. I have added three rows and try to see the changes in the application. Just click on save and close. Click on done. Okay. Go for Mozilla Firefox and just refresh the URL. Okay. Sometimes whatever the changes will not get reflected. So for that, you just need to log out and log in back. See here, before I don't have all these functions for Shyam Shivaji. And now I'm having these functions: hire an employee, contingent worker, pending worker, and I'm having access to benefit administration, and having access to so many other things like report analytics. Previously, I'm able to see these two things only: set preferences and work relation tools. Now I'm having report and analytics, schedule processes, and everything. Okay, we will get access to different functions by adding different roles. I will let you know what role has to be added for getting a different function. Okay, we can search. We can know. I will let you know how to which role has to be added for which functions going forward. But as of today, I had just shown you these three things. Okay, by adding these three roles, this employee Sham.Shivaji get access to different functions. Okay, you can see it from here, from left navigator pane. Previously in tools, we were able to see these two things. Now, my client groups were added. In these, we are having so many things. Along with that, benefits administration was also there. Along with that, in others, we are having some getting started, cloud customer connect. All these things were available. Previously, in tools, we are able to see these two icons from which you cannot do anything. Okay. Yeah, let me open the course content. So here, the first and foremost setup in global HR is implementation project. I'll talk about each and every setup from global HR, and I will let you know why you are using this and what is mandatory and what is not mandatory. I will let you know each and everything in detail. Okay. First and foremost setup is implementation project, then enterprise structure configurator. Then we need to create geographies. Okay, why you need to create geographies is we need to use geographies at different positions, at different setups. Whenever you create a location, we need to attach a location for that. You need to attach the location from where we'll get from geography details. That's the reason we need to create geographies. In geographies, there are some setups like geography type, geography hierarchy, geography structure. Each and everything we'll be creating, and we'll cover everything in clear. Okay, we'll cover all the things, define jobs, positions, locations, everything in detail. Okay? Even these are the topmost setups under the, and inside each and every setup there is something else. If you consider geographies, we'll be having geography structure, geography hierarchy, geography ladder, everything will be there. Okay, I will talk about each and every setup. Okay, if you consider jobs, it will be job family and jobs, only two setups for jobs. If you consider positions, there will be something like positions and position trees. Okay, and I'll talk about each and every setup in clear. Okay. Coming down, we are having divisions, different data sets, action reasons, LDGs, okay, different legislative data groups, legal employers. Okay, that is a legal employer. What is a payroll statutory unit? What is the registration unit? I will talk about each and everything in detail going forward. And coming, this is one of the module. Under global HR, we'll talk about all these things. Coming to the second module under payroll, we'll be talking about everything. Okay, coming from here, we will running the payroll for US employees only. That is the reason we will create legal employer from US. At the same time, we will be creating some US LDC. Okay, we will be creating primary ledger. We will be creating business units. We'll be creating banks. We'll be different. We'll be having different payment methods. We'll be having check payment method. We'll be having some NEFT payment method. We'll be creating some 2 or 3 payment methods, and for each payment method, the employee will get some salary. Okay, I will show how to configure all those things. Okay. Define consolidation group, all these things. Okay, with respect to payroll, we'll be configuring all these things. We'll be creating some elements, element classification. We'll be creating element eligibility, different input values for that each element. Okay, element categories will cover. We'll be having non-recurring, recurring. Okay, we'll do that. And running the attaching the payroll to employee. We'll run quick pay. After running quick pay for each one employee, I'll show you how to create an object group in order to run the payroll for set of employees. At the same time, I'll try to run the payroll for all the employees who are there in a specific LDC. Okay? I'll try to configure that also. But for sure, I will show you how to run the payroll for single employee. At the same time, how to run the payroll for a group of employees also. Okay, this is all we cover in payroll. We'll cover fast formulas also from this payroll module. Okay, I'll cover fast formulas for HCM extracts from from global HR, and fast formulas for payroll. I'll let you know how to create a fast formula, and I'll see you one or other type of fast formula. We'll be having different types of fast formulas only for payroll. Okay, for absence management also we're having fast formulas. Okay, we'll be having some 26 types of varieties of fast formulas, accrual type, rate type. There will be different types of fast formulas. I'll show you some 2-3 types of fast formulas from absence management also. Okay, and see. In absence management, we'll be creating accrual periods, derived factors, absence plan, absence types, how to integrate a payroll, global absence fast formulas. Okay, all these things we'll be covering in absence management also. Okay, and after that, we'll be creating I'll be attaching the absence plan to employee, run the absence plan, and even employee can raise his absence, apply for absence. Okay, I will talk about how to how to manage the approvals with respect to absence management. Okay, so here on top of this we are having some Oracle identity management. This I will talk. This is nothing but security module. I'll talk in the technical aspects. Okay, along with absence management, as I said that from profile management we're having some 6 to 7 setups. Profile content type, I'll creating this. I'll show you how to create these profile management setups also. Profile management, goal management, performance management. Technically, coming for technical aspects, any of the software will be having 2 types of works. One is data retrieving and another one is data sending. Whether you need to load the data or you need to send the data. There are 2 types of works. For loading, we are having 3 tools: HCM data loader, payroll batch loader, spreadsheet data loader. In HCM data loader, we'll be having different. I'll try to cover different scenarios. Like everybody will show how to load job data, how to show location data, how to load employee data. But If somebody wants to update the employee data, they will not show those things. Okay, I'll show you how to load terminate the employees. I'll show how to update the data using HM data loader, using spreadsheet data loader. At the same time, I'll show you how to load payroll data also. I'll load some element entries data using payroll batch loader. I'll talk about all these batch loaders in clear. Okay, everything is real time only. I'll show you some function specification. According to function specification, I'll show you how to load these things. Okay. Coming to OTB reports, we'll be having different OTB report. I mean, we'll be having different subject areas. Okay, I'll show you how to create cross subject areas reports also. In OTB reports, if you want to create a report from two different modules, from two different subject areas, that is nothing but cross subject areas. I'll show how to create cross subject area reports also. I'll create some dashboards. I'll show how to create some gauges. Okay, I'll try to cover almost all the scenarios in OTB reports. In the OTB reports itself, we can add filters in 3 or 4 ways. Okay, I'll try to show all the ways of adding filters in OTB reports. Okay, we can add an independent filter also. Okay, I'll let you know the different ways of adding filters in OTB reports. Coming to BI reports, we are having bursting reports. If you want to create a report having 2 different data models, how to connect the data models, and how to create an event trigger or schedule trigger. I'll let you know different types of reports. I'll try to cover all the scenarios. Whenever I talk about BI reports, I'll create a report from global HR and payroll, and if time permits, I'll create a report from benefits also. Okay, in 1 or 2 days, for 1 or 2 days, I talk about BI reports. In those 2 days, I'll try to cover the tables also from global HR, absence management, and payroll. Okay. Coming to HCM extracts, we're having different types of HCM extracts, like changes only extracts. Okay. First one is full profile. Full profile is the simplest of all the extracts. Okay. Categories of extracts are different, types of extracts are different. Okay. Coming to categories of extracts, we are having different categories like full profile and changes only. Types of extracts, these are categories. Coming to types, we are having, you can say that is not full profile, you can say it's full file. These are categories. Coming to types, we're having full profile, benefits archive, payroll archive, along with that we'll have we got something new called recruitment archive also. Okay, recruitment module related extracts. Along we are having some 6 to 7 list: full profile, benefits archive, payroll archive, recruitment archive. Along with that, we are having payroll interface, and some other 2 types of things are there. I'll talk about full file changes only in detail. In changes only, will be depending upon the changes only parameter you use it for the extract, it will behave in a different way. Okay, the extract will behave in different way. I'll try to cover all the scenarios from changes only extract. Okay, in full profile, I'll try to use some different layouts. We'll be having 3 different layouts. One is etext template. We'll be having different templates, etext templates. Okay, along with that RTF template, along with that XSL template. Okay, I'll try to cover etext and RTF. Even you can generate a custom XML data by using etext template. I'll try to show those things also, but it takes some time. For HCM extract, I'll take some 3-4 days itself. Okay. Coming to fast formulas, I already said that I'll cover fast formulas when I'm talking about payroll module and absence management module. Okay. And after completing global HR itself, I'll talk about HCM security. Okay, we'll be having different roles like job roles, duty roles, data roles, abstract roles, applicational roles. All these roles are there. I'll let you know what is the difference between each and every role. Okay. Along with these roles, you're having something like called aggregate privileges. Okay. We'll be having something called function security policies, data security policies. And I'll try to cover everything in detail. Okay. And after covering the roles, the security aspect, I'll create some custom roles and I'll attach that custom roles to some of the user. By that, if you log in with the user, he will having access to some of the data only because of the roles assigned to him. Okay, I'll try to open. I will try to configure approvals and notifications. We're having 10 types of security profiles. Okay, with respect to security, there are 10 security profiles, and I will configure some approvals also. Okay, coming to personalization, as it's a SaaS type of implementation, here we are going to cover only SaaS implementation only. We are not going to cover any PaaS or IaaS. As it's a SaaS as it is a SaaS implementation, we will try to cover some few personalization related topics. Okay, the most important things, widely used personalizations, I will let you know how to do that. That's all the course you're going to cover in the entire course. Any questions, please let me know.
Shashank, this is Vijay here.
Yeah, Vijay, please say.
How long is the duration of this course?
Yeah, same here. In general, every institute will take some 45 to 2 months, but I will take some 2.5 months. Why? Because I said that I'm promising you that I need to cover so many things. Okay.
Right. Okay.
It will take some 2.5 months for sure. Okay. Why? Because for HM extracts and BA reports only, I will take some 7 to 8 days.
Oh, okay. All right.
Any questions from any corner? If no questions, I'll wind up the class.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, that's it for today. If everything goes good, we'll meet again tomorrow. Okay, I'm just closing the class.
Okay, Shashank. Yeah.
Thank you, Shashank.
Yeah, welcome everybody.
Welcome.